Someone started distortions in languages, and these have continued without correction. Has anyone ever seen a donkey refuse to take burden? In fact, when someone says, मुझे तो गधा बना दिया, ऑफिस का पूरा काम मेरे सिर पे डाल देते हैं, the implication is that the donkey doesn't refuse to carry any amount of work. Misbehave just a bit with a horse, it will throw you down from its back, hit your skull, and your brains out with its hoof. But look at the poor donkey. You keep burdening it, and it never complains. My first posting was in Sivakasi. Sivakasi had hundreds of donkeys. These donkeys were used for carrying printed material from one place to another. In front of my official bungalow, there was a vast open space. Donkeys would come and sit there or stand there. And this gave me an opportunity to observe this silent worker very closely. The donkey would either sit or stand and keep looking in a direction as if lost in deep thinking. It would not complain, it would not protest. Once in a while, it would start its dhanchu, 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 as if it had discovered some great truth in the course of its ruminations and meditation, and it was saying Eureka, Eureka, Eureka. I even began to believe that someday, if a machine is discovered which can read minds, perhaps scientists would be able to discover the deep thoughts and philosophies that the donkeys have been quietly building in their mind and which have been lost because they could not be communicated to the outside world. One day, a donkey and a dog were sitting close to each other. Just to see the reaction, out of curiosity that is, I threw a stone in their direction. The dog immediately jumped to its feet and within a few seconds was standing at a distance of 30 meters. But the donkey did not even notice. It remained absolutely calm, absolutely peaceful, absolutely unconcerned. I realized that donkeys are stoics who consider the world to be of no consequence. Unfortunately, we human beings, instead of appreciating the great qualities of the donkeys, have spoiled their name by associating them with stupidity. You call somebody a gada and he'll bite you like a dog. The word dog has not been used less pejoratively either. कुत्ते मैं तेरा खून पी जाऊंगा. If the dog could answer, it would probably say, बंदे तू मेरा खून पी, तुझ में भी थोड़ी सी वफादारी आ जाएगी. While donkey is an embodiment of patience, perseverance, hard work, obedience, and service, dog is the embodiment of loyalty, faithfulness, and emotional attachment. Once I read an article in a Russian magazine. A Russian living in Moscow had to relocate to some other town, but it did not have place to accommodate his dog in his new place of shifting. So, while boarding the plane, it hugged the dog and then went into the plane. And after the door was closed, the dog could not understand. He was expecting that the door would open again, his owner would come out and take him to his house. He was patiently waiting. Then, what looked like a house began to run. The dog ran after it, and then that house lifted itself up. From then on, the dog would run after every plane and then halt as soon as the plane took off. When people read this story in the magazine, many of them offered to take the dog and adopt in their own house. Let us say that our attitude towards dog and donkey changes and we start using a different set of words to appreciate and laud them. What will happen then? Let us say we say to somebody, अरे मुबारक हो, सुना आपको पद्मश्री मिला है. He would say, नहीं पद्मश्री तो मुझे पिछले साल ही मिल गया था, इस बार तो मुझे सर्वोच्च कुत्ता अवार्ड मिला है. And in a function, the lady at the podium would say, आज मैं आपको एक ऐसे आदमी से मिलाने वाली हूँ जो बहुत बड़ा कुत्ता है और बिल्कुल गधा है. And everybody would clap. The worst distortion perhaps is in the matter of sex. Two girl employees working in a company are talking to each other. One girl says to the other, अरे तुमने सारा काम बिगाड़ दिया है, बॉस बहुत नाराज है. अब देखना कल जब तू से मिलने जाएगी ना तो तेरी अच्छी तरह से लेगा. And that girl will freeze in fear instead of looking forward to a very exciting session of Len Den. Thank you. We'll meet again.